I'm Russell Payne. He's Jerry Mahosky. And this is the 2026 Liberty County High School Football Preview Show. Jerry, we are not inside the confines of the Vindicator studio office building that we've done this show on in the past.
That sweat pouring off your forehead would be a really good
That's right, it would be. It's a little warmer, but it's a little less drabby and, a little more personality this year. But we're here to talk about the 2026 high school football season. Just days away, Jerry, and we're here at Hardin Hornet Stadium. We've got some scrimmages going on. There'll be some ball going on behind us while we're doing the show here. And Jerry, we'll be talking, of course, about these Hardin Hornets with a lot of expectations on the upcoming season. But we'll also be talking, of course, about Liberty Panthers, Dayton Broncos, Hull-Daisetta Bobcats, the Tarkington Longhorns, and, of course, those Cleveland Indians, Jerry. And, Jerry, last year, for this team that plays here, it was a huge season.
Oh, yeah.
12-1 on the year.
First district championship in 51 years. And
so in an area championship, a by-district championship.
You go 12-0, and you play the number one team the state champion, and the Oakham Bulldogs, and had a certain little injury on the opening drive not happen. There's some what ifs you can talk about this team behind us, but last year was last year, this year is this year, and Hardin brings those big boys back up front.
And we'll get to that here in just a little bit. Of course, again, we're going to talk about the Hornets, the Liberty Panthers, the Dayton Broncos, Hull-Daisetta Bobcats, Tarkington Longhorns, and Cleveland Indians along the way on this show. I think this is our fourth.
This is year number four. That is correct.
Already. Football preview show. And man, Jerry, it's going to be a big year, and for some other schools too, look to improve. One school looks to try to stay healthy and get to where they thought they'd get before, and we'll get to those Dayton Broncos along the way, and we'll see if the Liberty Panthers can improve on last year's 3-7 season. And in fact, Jerry, why don't we take a look at the Liberty Panthers? All right, well, Jerry, the Liberty Panthers, 2025 was actually an improvement, going 3-7 under Coach Kedrick Harrison. He's heading into year number 3 this season, and last year, of course, they went 2-5 in district as well, returning 18 lettermen to the squad, and there will be 6 offensive starters and 7 offensive starters coming back for the Panthers in 2026. Why don't we talk about them?
Well, let's start off at the quarterback position. Kind of an important position. What do you think? It is.
And for a long time, it's been one guy, and he's gone.
Yep, Frankie is gone. So you're going to have sophomore Alan Ramos taking over. Sophomore. Ked says can run the football a little bit and can throw the football a little bit. So one position the Panthers do have some experience is the running back position.
That's right.
Okay, boy, I tell you what, you got Jaden Holmes back there, you got Logan Fowler, and then Russell, a couple of transfers from Summer Creek. The Watley brothers have transferred in. And so, being at a 6A program, that's not a bad deal. Trey Watley, who Kedrick talked about, he said he is going to get the football this year. So offensively, the line, you got Juan Guzman, Eli Nicholson, Josh Allison coming back on the line. The receivers, got some pretty good receivers, Logan Ross, Tony Sehay, and tight end is John Key. And then on the defensive side of the ball, something Kedrick Harrison is really excited about. Liberty brings 8 starters back on the defensive side of the ball. And he's really excited about this defense. I could see the smile when we were talking about the defense. But he's got the defensive newcomer of the year, Connor Schultz, will be back. And then up front, you're going to have John Key, Jacob Rollinson, Pierre Harrison, just to name a few. Thomas Logan, Logan Fowler, and then in the secondary it's going to be Corbin Lawson, Logan Ross, Luca Perez, and Ked has said this is a defense he can work with this year. And last couple of years, Liberty's had some struggles on the defensive side of the ball, so Kedrick's pretty excited about that.
It's going to be a big deal having to replace Frankie Morez, right, at quarterback,
Oh, yeah.
right? He's been there for, this is the first time Liberty's had a new quarterback in 4 years?
Yep. He was starting as a sophomore.
That's right. So that's going to be a big change, and it's going to be a big responsibility on Ramos's part. But you know what? I mean, Liberty's going to start out with some opportunities to win some ball games.
Yep.
Week 1, Cold Spring, at home, Memorial Stadium.
That's a game that Liberty won last year.
That's right.
And that's definitely a game that, you would have to pick Liberty as the favorite this year.
And if you wanted to notch those wins to at least match last year's record, which strangely enough, with 3-7, I know that's not the best record in the world, but it was an improvement for the Panthers and under Coach Harrison. And so, but that's the first game of the season, and that's at home at Memorial Stadium. By the way, we'll be stopping by there with Under the Lights. So, doubleheader that night. We'll be
doubleheader action.
Dayton
we're going to get into it.
So, but anyway, what are some other games?
And then a game last year, a 1-point game that Liberty lost to Splendor. Liberty's going to see if they can return the favor in Splendor. Hey, they beat Cold Spring and Splendor, start the season 2-0. And then it will be a Thursday night contest in Anahuac. So Liberty doesn't play a lot of Thursday night games, but they will have one this year.
And that's going to be a tough game for the Panthers. We saw a little bit of Anahuac last week, and they've got a great running back, so Liberty's going to have to be prepared to be able to stop that. And we'll see how they do with that one. But the following week, though, I think they go to
the Prairie.
That's right.
Go to Tarkington.
We'll be there for
both
of those games, by the way.
We will.
And we'll be there for both of those games with Under the Lights. That's right. You can tune into that on Thursdays and Friday nights, depending on which nights of the week it is this season. But and that Targeting game would be another one that you'd want to pencil in as a chance, and I believe that's homecoming night. Is that right for Tarkington?
I believe so.
I believe that is homecoming night for
So
Tarkington.
if you look at it, Russell, 4 non-district games, there's 3 of them that you feel you got a really good chance to win, and then Anahuac, that's Anahuac and Liberty not as quite as a rival as Hardin and Anahuac, but Liberty's got a little rivalry within it, and when you get a little rivalry game, anything can happen.
So when you're both the Panthers and you're both wearing black and gold, you got to kind of, and your neighboring towns, you kind of got to have a little bit of a rivalry.
And we had a battle of the Panthers on Tuesday night. Liberty Lady Panthers defeating Anahuac in 3 games. And then district play will start off on September 25th at home against Huffman. Huffman is going to be down this year. So, I
heard that about Huffman 2 years ago, though, too. And
well,
they were pretty good.
Yeah, but I heard some things about their scrimmage. So we'll see what happens. But they lost a lot to graduation. And then you got a road trip to Livingston, not playing in the new lines.
Just so you know, you want to go to the old stadium because the new stadium, there's nowhere to sit.
Yeah.
So no jabs at Livingston. I'm sure there's a good explanation to where the stands are.
I guess you could bring your lawn chairs.
Or not. Well, actually, Liberty, there's seats for Liberty. The visitor bleachers are up. So, Liberty,
there's not a lot of seats on the visitor side, but
they actually have seats.
They do have some bleachers over there. So, you'll have a trip to Livingston, and that's going to be a much improved Livingston team. And then you will come back home for a little Cypress Mauriceville. Then you'll go to Bridge City, come back home for Lumberton, and then you will finish the season up at Vider.
That's right. And there's not just a big dominant team in that district.
No, not this year.
At Liberty, if you make some things happen, right? Maybe you get yourself into this picture.
Yeah.
You just needed one of those 4 spots to make the postseason.
That is correct.
We'll get into that towards the end of the program about what we think these schools are going to do from around the area. But, that's your Liberty Panthers. We'll talk about what we think they're going to do at the end of the show again. Now, how about those Dayton Broncos? All right, well, we're back, and it's time to talk about those Dayton Broncos. I always like talking about the Dayton Broncos, and well, the Dayton Broncos, Jerry.
So, Russell, can I stop you right there? Why do you always like talking about those Dayton Broncos?
Well, I might have just been a Dayton Bronco myself. Anyway, like that purple and white.
Once upon a time, you were a little Dayton Bronco, weren't you?
I wasn't very little, but anyway, yeah, it's been a few years. Anyway, though, Jerry, Coach Jerry Prieto Sr., heading into year number 3 with the Dayton Broncos this year, 2025. Just short of playoffs for the Broncos. Again, we were talking about earlier the injury bug, and they're hoping that maybe this season they're going to get through it without that issue. 6-4 a year ago on the regular season, 3-4 in district. And, well, I really think that the key to this one may start with keeping your quarterback healthy.
Absolutely. And he knows a little bit about his quarterback, doesn't he?
He
the
does.
way he plays him personally.
That's right. He knows a lot about him anyway, but he returns along with 23 lettermen for the Broncos, 6 offensive starters, 5 defensive starters. A lot of talent coming back to these Broncos, Jerry. But one of the things we're going to talk about here in a second, I'll let you kind of get to it. I've got a surprise transfer into the school, so for the Broncos.
Yes, they did. Well, I tell you what, let's just talk about Mr. James Cook right off the bat. James Cook, running back, was at Cleveland. Been running the football for Cleveland since he was a freshman. Now his junior year, he will be toting the pigskin for the Dayton Broncos.
And I will say this: the last time Dayton got himself a running back from Cleveland, it worked out really well.
Yeah.
And Jaleel Kendrick did a pretty good job.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And this guy might be better than him.
And I can tell you, Mr. Cook can run the football, and he's not afraid to just run you over. So, of course, back at quarterback is Jerry Prieto Jr. and Coach P's son. We are hoping, we're not even going to talk about it this year. We're going to see what Junior does with a full season. And he's feeling 100%. Hit a bunch of camps this summer. And, boy, I tell you what, he looks really good. And he is someone that will be playing on Saturdays next year.
Yeah, absolutely. One of our cover features this year for the fall sports preview, and he's got a lot of expectations on him. He's was just listed as one of the top 500 recruits.
Yep.
For the class of 2027 in the state of Texas, Dave Campbell's magazine. That's a big expectation to have on you.
Yes, it
Heading
is.
into this one, hadn't committed anywhere quite yet. I'm sure those offers are going to be coming in, and especially if we get through a good, healthy season, there could be a lot of things, happening for him. They're not the only players to return, though. There's some other Broncos that are going to be key for this year. Yep,
you got KJ Johnson, who is a talent at tight end position, big kid. Yasher Vila will be up front. Cooper Burks also back. Braylon Marshall, LeBradford, Devorian Bradford is back, and the Broncos return a lot of starters. They're in a new district this year. Well, I'll tell you what, let's start with Murderers Row first. Boy, they have a heck of a non-district schedule.
They do. Crosby is your easy game. And
then they're going to go to Angleton on the 4th of September, Barbers Hill at home, Fort Bend Marshall on the 19th on a Saturday night. Boy, all 4 of those teams are just tough football
and we will kick off our coverage of the 2026 Under the Lights season at Broncos Stadium before we head over to Liberty that same night for that Crosby game. And we will be back again on week 3 for that Barbers Hill game. And that's a pretty big one.
Yeah, those are both big ones. Both of those schools stepping up in classifications. They will both be playing at the 6A level this year. And then Dayton will start district play on September 25th at Stallworth Stadium against those Baytown League.
And that, of course, is a big game if you're from Dayton and you know a little bit about Dayton, because, well, the entire coaching staff is from Dayton at Baytown League.
Yeah,
just
pretty close. Close.
Coach Roger Sutterfield, one of the great Dayton Broncos, a Dayton Bronco Hall of Famer, is the head coach there, going into a second season, and Coach Quinn Wood and his son, and some other coaches, and some other folks on the staff too.
Yep.
All Broncos. So there's a lot of purple blood there at Baytown Lee, and the Ganders look to get some things straight. And I guarantee you this: they'd love nothing more than to be a thorn in the Dayton Broncos side.
Absolutely. But going back, so Dayton will start off with Lee, then Galena Park at home, and then Santa Fe on the road. So Russell, a really excellent chance if things work out the way we think they should, to start 3-0 in district play. Then that sets up Port Neches Groves coming to Bronco Stadium on October 16th.
And that's going to be a big one, and we're going to be there. And there's going to be a lot of purple there. And that's homecoming night, Jerry.
Yes, it is.
So,
yes, it is.
I'm just going to say, usually when you pick your homecoming opponent, you pick one easier than Port Neches Groves.
Can I tell you what Coach P said on that?
Yeah.
He said, "Bring it."
Right. Well, yeah. Right.
So,
I mean, you wanna. You know what? I got to give him this. Look, and this is a formula that you've seen. There's some formulas where you go and you get yourself some easy wins early, or there's some where you go and you do Murderer's Row, and that's what the Broncos have decided to do this year.
Yep.
And there will be a lot of attention on these Broncos to see what they can do. And Jerry, we'll talk more about what we think those Broncos are going to do towards the end of the show. And anyway, getting excited. Broncos Stadium. We're going to be there
8 days.
Just a few days.
Man.
That's right.
It's next Friday is going to be here before we know it.
Yeah. Now you may be watching this a little delayed, so it'll be less than 8 days when you watch this. But nonetheless, it's coming really quick.
Yeah.
So
Friday the 28th.
That's right, and we will be there for those Broncos and Crosby Cougars. Anyway, Jerry, that's the Dayton Broncos. Well, how about we talk about the folks right here in Hardin? Let's take a look at what's upcoming for the Hardin Hornets. All right, Jerry, it's time to talk about the Hardin Hornets. And what a fantastic place to do it, right here in the
friendly confines of
Hornet Stadium. That's right. We're on the north side of the stadium here. By the way, if you haven't seen the stadium yet, there's some updates that have happened here on the little nights around the place, and I don't think they're done. In fact, there's a few more things. By the time you get here on the 4th of September, they've got a couple of weeks still to go before the regular season home opener against Lutheran South Academy. I will be there with Jerry, by the way, and so will our entire crew. And you know who else is going to be here? County Judge Jay Knight, Liberty County Judge Knight. Why will he be here? His grandson's the quarterback for Lutheran South Academy. Just a tidbit I might throw out there for you. But we'll get to that. First of all, let's talk about Coach Chad Taylor heading into year number 4. Coming off the greatest season in his career, the greatest season in Hardin's history.
Yep.
And, 12-1 in 2025. Undefeated season for the first time in school history. 6-0 in district. They marked off a district championship, a by-district championship, an area championship, and they lost a close one, really, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
In the regional semis, Jerry. 17 players returned. 6 on offense as starters, 7 on defense as starters. Now, I will say this, though. Of those returners, there will not be any trains and there will not be any pink shoes.
No.
And that's going to be a big task for these Hardin Hornets. But let's see how they're going to handle it, Jerry. What do they got?
So we're going to start up front with the Hornets because that's where the gravy is, okay? Preseason Class 3A All-State Brennan Noonan, senior, 4th year on varsity. He will lead the way up front. Noah Mason, Tegan West, Abraham Garcia, Jackson Harris. So that offensive line is very, very good offensive line. Colton Bishop is back at quarterback, junior year, and looking for big things for Colton Bishop. Ryan Hessler. Ryan's going to carry the football, and he's going to catch the football. He's going to do a little bit of everything. Thomas Gillespie, Preston West, Evan Porter. These are going to be some of the guys toting the pigskin. Cade and Caleb Drake, Jaden Phelps, Christian Bishop, Colton's brother.
His Yep.
younger brother,
That's right.
freshman. He will be on the varsity.
I believe the only freshman on the varsity this year for Hardin.
Yep. Also back is kicker Justin Avila, which at the end of the season, you saw Avila really come and grow into his own, and Hardin was able to play field position with the kicking game. Of course, they never punted the football until Hitchcock, but
That's something. So
yeah.
I gotta remember this. So we went through an entire season last year without a punt. We were second round of the playoffs before we ever saw a
second
punt.
round of the playoffs. So Hardin was in their 11th football game before they punted the football.
So let me say this with that, right? So Hornet fans, do not get upset if you have to punt the ball before the 11th week of the season. That does not mean the season's a wash.
Yeah,
I mean,
it definitely does not.
That's not a normal.
That is
stat.
not normal at all.
You know, so we may see some punts this year. And but Jerry, it's going to be a big year. But you mentioned Ryan Hessler. So he told us a couple weeks ago. So he has some, he's also going to be on the defense, right? And he was the co-defensive player of the year, the All Liberty County football team last year. I think he told y'all he plans on being the defensive player of the year in 2026.
Yeah,
That's
big,
the goal he has
tough
for himself.
kid. I mean, Hessler, baseball kid, but tough kid. And the Hornets are expecting, and they are going to need big things from Hessler this year.
That's right. And you are going to need that line. And look, here's the bottom line. The offense is going to run behind that line, right? And it's going to run around. It's going to focus in on Colton Bishop, right? There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The ball is going to be in his hands, and things are going to happen. And of course, we're going to get some help, and we'll see and he needs somebody to step up as a running back.
Yeah, he does.
You need running backs to step up for this team, and and that's a big thing that they'll hopefully have worked out by the time we get in the district. And you have a little tough schedule, right? You're going to start out with Corrigan Camden on road game for the Hornets. Then you're going to be back home again against the Lutheran South team. Very good ball team.
Yeah, and let me tell you what, folks. When you come here on September 4th, it's going to be a heck of a game, and that could be a shootout.
And they are going to try to throw the ball.
They are going to throw the football.
Yeah. And I've seen some footage of them in a scrimmage last week against Kincaid.
Very impressive.
Pretty good. The quarterback looks great. They have receivers that want to catch the ball and they want to get hit.
Yep.
Right? And that is that's a plus, right?
Yeah, of course.
You can't complain about that. And so that's what you're looking for. But they got to have that line. And, of course, if you play the style of football that Hardin wants to play, well, you're going to keep that passing game off the field, right?
Yep.
And we look at this team, and you've got a preseason all-state selection on this team at line on the line. 6'4", 300 pounds. He's our other cover guy, along with Jerry Prieto Jr. That's Brennan Noonan, and Big B is he's going to be in the trenches this year, and he's going to do his thing. And Jerry, I mean, it's with this line. This line will dictate a lot on the offense.
Yep.
Question is the defense. And I don't think it's Trevor Jones at linebacker you need to worry about replacing. I think your linebacker core is fantastic here. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think that's the defensive backfield, that secondary. We're going to have find some answers, right?
Yep.
Because you lose a great player in Leighton Berry from last year, right? Who was a smart, just always honing in on the thing, and that's replacing somebody like him. And but I will tell you this: you saw Jaden Phelps start to come along real well towards the end of last season. I'm sure he will be one of the big guys that you got to count on. Colton Bishop again. We'll see. You're going to have to keep him healthy and keep him, if he's going to play both ways, which the plan is, he's going to play a little offense and a little defense.
Thomas Gillespie should be back there in the secondary. Matthew Gowdy.
Matthew Gowdy, by the way, had one heck of a pass breakup last week against Anahuac down there, and he just, he laid a smackdown on the Panther receiver, and so you'd like to see him do more of that throughout the season if you're the Hornets here, Jerry.
Russell, I want to touch on one non-district game for Hardin, and this is going to be a dandy, and yours truly will be there on a Thursday night, and that is when Hardin travels to Winnie to face East Chambers.
And this is going to be a good East Chambers team.
Oh, yeah. Coach Sutherland has an excellent team this year, and let me tell you, that's going to be a Thursday night game to see.
I think they put up 13 scores in their first scrimmage against the Liberty Panthers.
And then
Liberty Panthers definitely felt that one anyway.
Make sure the calendars are already marked for October the 9th.
And that's the deal. So you're going to play, so let's double check. East Chambers, off week, right? Is that right?
No.
No.
Crockett. And
Crockett.
then,
Okay, you got Crockett in there. And Crockett, look, you play. Crockett's a team you beat in the playoffs in the first district last year.
Yep.
They'd love to give you a comeuppance, right?
Of course.
And you might be able to gauge where you are based on that game too, because this is a team where you have some history playing them last year in the playoffs. Where are the Hornets going to be in week 4? And look, again, like I said, if you have to punt the ball this year during the regular season, that's not the end of the season, right?
No, it's not.
It's
not the end of the world.
If you fall to East Chambers, not the end of the world, right? Now, this is Newton's district you're coming into, though, right? This is this district, and let me make this clear: this district belongs to Newton, or at least it has for the last what? How many years is this now?
20-something years.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a heck of a streak. So you're going to have to take it from them.
But I also want to say this, Jerry. If you have the goals that Hardin has for itself this year, and that is to be playing in December in Arlington, and that is the goal that a lot of folks look at. This is the number 13 ranked team in the state of Texas right now, guys. Number 13 ranked team in the state of Texas. And I bring that up to say this, though. But there's a lot of folks here that are talking about state championship, and they're talking about Arlington. So you've got to beat Newton. Yep. I promise you have to beat Newton. But you don't have to beat Newton
on October 9th. That is correct.
You're going to have to beat Newton
in the playoffs.
Yep. That's when you're going to have to beat Newton.
And that's the only time it really is going to matter.
That's right. And so, this team, and that's one of the things I think it's going to be. I want everybody to understand. You may not go 10-0 in the regular season this year. You may not, right? But by the time the playoffs get here, you may be a whole different team, right? Because you are filling some spots, some gaps. You are figuring some things out, right? So let's just remember, Yoakum was runner-up in their district last year to Columbus. Well, you can ask the folks at Columbus how that worked out for them in the end, and Yoakum will tell you. State champions, baby.
Yeah, not very good for the Columbus Cardinals.
Right. So, like I said, and with this quarterback, this line, these kids, the work ethic that they've put in here, kids like Hessler, and a coaching staff like this, a lot of big things are possible. And we'll tell you what we think is going to happen towards the end of the program.
And let me say this, Russell. Hardin, 19-5 their last 2 years.
That's right. Hey, look, this is Chad's 4th year. Even the year he comes in was. I said, Chad, during Chad's first year, and I tell you about laugh like, what are you talking? The best losing team I'd seen in years, and they were buying into something. And I think folks thought they weren't going to be totally bought in until this year, right? Last year it was like, well, wait a minute, they've caught on, it's caught a fire. Well, now this year's here.
Yeah. And Coach Taylor's first year here, you could just tell it was a different football team, different atmosphere.
And it is. And
like I said, last 2 years, 19-5.
So
that speaks volumes right there.
That's right. And so this team is a good ball team, and they're gonna have some big things to do this year, show the world this year. And well, we're gonna talk about that. We'll get back to that at the end of the show. Right now, well, we're gonna travel right down the road to Bobcat country and hear what's going on with the Hull-Daisetta Bobcats. All right, Jerry. Well, now it's time to talk about the Hull-Daisetta Bobcats. Gone is Randy Birdwell, sudden departure here during the early part of the summer, and he will be a part of the coaching staff at Refugio. Ironically, the Bobcats.
He's staying a Bobcat.
He is. They even have the same logo.
Yep.
Actually. So, not only the same mascot, the same logo. Anyway, with that said, we'll be talking about the new coach, Coach Jarrett Thibodeau, taking over for the Bobcats. 2025 was 2-8 on the year, 1-5 in district. That is the official record, Jerry. That actually is official. No, I confirm that's official. That's the record.
2-8.
So 2-8.
2-8. Gotcha.
So they beat a team from Louisiana. Go figure. And then they got a win as a result of a forfeit with
against Sabine
Pass. Right. So
yep.
Technically, the argument would be they're 3-8, right? Well, no, the other game. There was another game they filled in some. There was another. I don't know. I don't remember. Somebody, they had a double forfeit. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, 2-8, 1-5 in district.
There you go.
Not going to get into the semantics of that one much.
Yeah.
Returning 9 players This is the smallest team in Class 2A football, I think, in Texas, right? They are playing up. They should be playing six-man football, right?
Yep.
They're playing up. They are going to return 5 starters on the offense, 5 starters on the defense. That helps anybody's cause. And 25, y'all know 25% of the student population at Hull-Daisetta High School is playing football this year.
Wow.
That's also 25 students.
Wow.
So on the varsity, according to Dennis Warren, who will, of course, be covering the Bobcats for us all season long.
Big Dennis.
Jerry, I know they're looking at some guys that will be back they do have some skill position players coming back.
Well,
that's going to help.
And they have a 4-year starter on I'm going to talk about the line first, Russell. Garrett Jackson. He's going to be joined on the line by Josh Messina. And then looks like they got a transfer student, Bryce Smith, coming over. And the Bobcats will run that double wing. Landon Carroll, Paxton Walters, Gavin Arsenault, Braden Frege, just to name a few. And, the Bobcats, you go to Snook, who's a Class 1A team. You go to Snook to start off the season. Then you bring that team from Louisiana in to Bobcat Stadium. Same team you beat last year.
You have Louise.
And then you have Louise, which Louise is down. So you got a chance in those first 3 games to get some confidence.
The Warren game is going to probably be a little tougher because you're playing up, But, yeah, absolutely. And I think you got I want to see Landon Carroll on the football field. He put on some show, and he was a pretty good basketball player. I'd like to see him on the football field this season. I do know that they have a lot of focus probably on him. He's a good-sized kid, right? And that's always going to help. Frege, Frege can play ball.
Yeah,
right?
he's a really good athlete.
Yeah, you bring Burks back, and it should be interesting to see where they go with this. And they have a great kicker, by the way.
Oh, Paxton Walters.
Paxton Walters. So they have
Paxton can kick the football.
Probably the best kicker in the county. Right. So you have a good kicker, and if you can get him in a position, right, that's a helpful.
You probably get it to the 30 and in. You probably trot the field goal team out there.
So you got
which might consist of another player, but anyway.
Well, but. Gives you a little bit of help that you could always use.
Oh yeah, when you can get 3 is better than nothing.
That's right. So Jerry, this is going to be a big year though, as a kind of a retooling with a new coach.
And then you open district play up. You get West Hardin at home.
That's right.
And you get 2 weeks. You're coming after the Warren game. You're coming off a bye week, so you get 2 weeks to prepare for West Hardin, the district opener.
Yep. And so Pass apparently is going to field a team this year.
They are trying to. Last I heard, the numbers were like 18 or 19, so they were going to give it a go.
So we'll see that, and of course that one. So I think you're looking at a team that could. I don't know. We'll get into that in a minute, but I think you got a chance to have some wins in Hull-Daisetta this year.
You do.
I think you have a chance to see every team in Liberty County win this year, Jerry. We'll get to that towards the end of the program, and that's got a big. Because these next 2 teams we're going to talk about, they were 0 for 20 last year. So that's a big topic, a big top deal. But the Bobcats, just said Dennis Warren will be there covering the Bobcats for us all season long.
And one of the teams that will be in Hull-Daisetta's district is scrimmaging Hardin behind us, the Deweyville Pirates.
Yep. So
they will get Deweyville at home. So you can, Bobcat fans, this team right here will be coming to historic Bobcat Stadium.
That's right. And of course, we will be there for West Hardin.
We will be there.
And the Bobcats. I believe that's the game we'll be there for you.
Yes, we are.
So we will be there to see those Oilers and, see them come in town and take on the Bobcats. But we'll talk about how we think these Bobcats are going to do at the end of the program. But now we're going to move on up to the northern end of the county, a little bit mid-north. Northern.
We're going to go to the prairie.
I don't know. Is that north or east? It's like technically it's east of here, I guess. East, northeast. I don't know. Anyway, I know this. It's that direction, and that's Tarkington. And we're
But if I can just chime in, the next team we're going to talk about, there's excitement on the prairie.
That's right. Jerry, it's time to talk about this Tarkington Longhorns. Gone is Coach Toby Belt. three seasons, right? 3 seasons there at
Believe so.
Tarkington as head coach. He's gone, and in is Jake Howard, who brings in a lot of pedigree.
Yes, he does.
With his time at Willis, and he's taken over a team that was 0-10 a year ago, 0-5 in district. They will return 18 lettermen to the squad, 6 offensive and 6 defensive starters for Coach Howard and this new 2026 version of the Tarkington Longhorns, Jerry.
So, Tarkington fans, you better get prepared to see a 5-receiver set. They are going to spread it out, and they are going to throw the football. And Coach Howard said, we are going to move the ball down the field. And hey, he was at Willis the last 4 years. He had 2 parade All-Americans at Willis. So Coach Howard knows what an athlete looks like. And he's excited. First head coaching job at the Prairie and on the Prairie. And quarterback is going to be Toby Rames. And then Caleb, his brother, is going to play cornerback and slot. One thing that Tarkington is going to bring experience back is on the line. And they did some things this past summer. They went to a lineman challenge in Abilene or something. And he's got some big, strong kids. Got a few transfers that moved him. Another transfer from Summer Creek. I asked Coach Howard, I was like, Coach Howard, what's going on with Summer Creek? But anyway, so another transfer coming over from Summer Creek. And I tell you what, the Longhorns, they're going to be exciting to watch this year.
Yeah. Well, and they're looking at, I know there was a lot of excitement there on the Prairie. They had their kickoff tailgate event here recently, and there was a lot of folks there, a lot of excitement. I think the district's got a lot of fresh energy in that district all the way around.
Yep.
New head coach, athletic director, new superintendent, everything, and as far as that goes, and I think that could be a big year, and and we'll talk about what we think they could do. It's going to be I'm not going to say it's an easy district they're going into, because you got the likes of East Chambers and the likes of Anahuac, Orangefield, so.
But after that, Russell, it kind of balances out a little bit.
It's easier than the district they were in last year.
Absolutely.
But, last 2 years competing in Class 4A.
Yep.
Against the likes of West Orange, Start, Jasper, Silsbee, and Hampshire Finette, right? So this is a welcoming change. But that 4th spot, it's possible, right?
It's definitely possible. You're going to fight it out with Kirbyville.
Buda team may be a little bit better this year.
Kirbyville, Buna, and Cold Spring.
Remember Buda gave this squad at Hardin a scare. That first we got 12-0, right? It was like now Hardin not seen that at all a year ago. So Tarkington, they'll be looking for something. We'll be in Tarkington on 2 occasions. We'll be there to see them take on the Anahuac Panthers, and we'll be there to see them take on the
Liberty
Panthers.
Yep.
So,
we actually,
Russell, one of those 2 is homecoming. I can't remember. I may have said it was Liberty.
We actually, Tarkington fans, if you want to see the Longhorns, you're going to have to travel, because they don't play their first game at home until September 18th against Liberty. And then it's Anahuac the following Friday.
But when they come home, they're bringing us with them. That's right. So there you go.
But hey, Shepherd is not a far drive at all.
That's not a far drive, and that's going to be a tough contest for the Tarkington Longhorns.
That is a state-ranked Shepherd Pirate football team, and I can't tell you the last time I said that.
They're going to be a powerful team this year, right? And
they are.
So anyway, well, that's the Longhorns, and we'll talk about how we think they're going to do this season here just a little bit. Now, well, it's been a long 4 years if you're in Cleveland, and we'll talk about those Cleveland Indians next, right here on the 2026 Liberty County High School Football Preview Show. All right, Jerry, we're back, and we're talking about the Cleveland Indians now. Cleveland Indians, 36 consecutive losses. They've won, one time since they've been in Class 6A, and that was against Caney Creek, and that was 4 years ago. Since that time, they've lost 36 games, folks. It's been a rough stretch. 2025, 0-10, 0-7 in district, but they're bringing back 26 returners this year. 25, actually. I think that number's correct. They lost one. 5 on offense and 7 on defense, I believe, is what it'll be for the Indians, who I believe Well, I'll tell you what I believe in a minute, Jerry. Let's talk about Coach Johnny Sanders' squad in year number 2.
So Coach Sanders, of course, brings playing for a power team, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and so having played on a football team like that, you're gonna learn some stuff about football. So, and Coach Sanders brings back Jacob Estrada, his starting quarterback. So, a couple of really good linemen up front, linebackers. So, it's not all bare in Cleveland. And this one, I'm gonna. Well, I'll hold it for after, but I'm just gonna throw this out there. Cleveland starts off first 2 games at home, Springwoods and then Hardin. So, and then they travel to Lake Creek on a Thursday night for their final non-district game. They'll get a week off, and then they will be back at home at Indian Stadium to open up district play against Oak Ridge. So, Cleveland, 3 of the first 4 games at home, which is always a good thing.
Yep.
Your starting quarterback coming back, and then Coach Sanders, who brings he brings something that a lot of other coaches can't match, and playing for a college program like that.
It is, but playing for a college program like Notre Dame is different than coaching Cleveland, and that's a lot of work that's got to go into getting this team. And they're trying to build the culture necessary for that, right?
And he is.
And they're like
new weight room.
That's right. They've had a great look. Cleveland's got a great athletic facility.
Oh yes, they do.
Now, right?
Yep.
Good football stadium. If you haven't been there, let's see the brand new entryway the last couple of years, right? Great softball and baseball complex.
Oh, absolutely.
Great basketball complex.
Yep.
Cleveland's got facilities, right?
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. And
they do.
So if you haven't been up there to see all that, you need to go see that. We'll be there. We're at a live scrimmage about to go on, or a little control. Sorry, there's a little buzzer went off for us. It wasn't the shot clock with Steph Curry putting one up anyway, whatever. But we are here at Hornet Stadium. Put this in perspective, folks. We are just days away from high school football. It seems like, I don't know, just a few weeks ago I was in a hospital. I don't know. Anyway, but for me, I'm excited to be out here, Jerry.
We're glad you're not in a hospital anymore.
That's right.
I'm glad you're sitting right next to me.
So I'm excited, and I say that to say, look, I'm really excited about this upcoming season. So far, we've heard about the Liberty Panthers, Dayton Broncos, Hardin Hornets, Hull-Daisetta Bobcats, Tarkington Longhorns, and the Cleveland Indians. Now, well, what do we think is going to happen this season? Well, we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. Jerry Mahosky, Russell Payne here on the 2026 Liberty County High School Preview Show. Jerry, we've heard about the Liberty Panthers. We've heard about the Dayton Broncos, the Hardin Hornets, Hull-Daisetta Bobcats, Tarkington Longhorns, and the Cleveland Indians. Now, we're going to talk about what we think these schools are going to do. Let's flip the order around. I don't know. Let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians, Jerry. Let's go ahead with the Cleveland Indians. 0-10 a year ago. They've lost 36 consecutive games, Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Springwoods comes to town, I believe, the first week of the season, right?
That is correct, and then Hardin follows.
That's right. And what are you thinking, Jerry?
Well, Russell, and I almost let the cat out of the bag earlier when we were talking about Cleveland. Cleveland will break that 36-game losing streak. They will beat Hardin. I think Springwoods, that game could go either way. I think Springwoods will probably prevail, but I do like Cleveland to beat the Hardin Mustangs at home. And a trip to Caney Creek on October 2nd. Anything's possible there. But I do think Cleveland will get a win or two this year.
Well, Coach Sanders and the Indians are putting in a lot of work. I'm rooting for those Indians. Got to root for any of those kids out there putting out the work and the effort. They're going to be 0-46 or 46 straight losses by the time this season's over, though, Jerry. I don't see the Indians winning. They lost a big element, and it's gone. And I think that's going to come back to become a little bit of an issue when the season is over this year. Like I said, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they come out of the gate and beat Springwoods. Hopefully they beat Hardin. I don't think they're beating Kenny Creek. I don't think that's happening. And I may be wrong, but I do think right now, I think where I'm looking at right now, I think you're looking at a 0-10 season for the 4th straight year.
Keep fighting, Indians. Hey, we're rooting for you. Keep on fighting.
That's right. But again, prove me wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong.
Absolutely.
But I think that's where we are. I think the loss of that star running back, though, is going to be a little bit of an issue at the end of the season.
It's going to be a tough one.
So now, there was another 0-10 team a year ago, the Tarkington Longhorns. Jerry, the Longhorns are going to have a new head coach, and well,
man, I tell you what, Russell, and I think I've already told you this, but I really enjoyed my conversation with new Tarkington head coach Jake Howard last Sunday evening. Coach Howard, he's one of those guys that you like, and one of those guys you root for and all that, but also the man comes from a Willis program to where that they put up video game numbers on offense. So he's going to bring that over to Tarkington. I don't think they will put up video game numbers, but they're going to score some points and they're going to move the football. Tarkington is not going 0-10 this year. Okay? Tarkington is going to get, I'm going to say Tarkington 3-7.
That's where I'm actually going. 3-7.
And man, I just think on the 18th when the Liberty Panthers head to the Prairie, I think that's going to be a really good football game.
I'm going to give that one to Liberty, but I do think they're going to open up the season with a win at New Waverly.
And I didn't.
You didn't. He didn't commit to it.
I think it's going to be a very good football
game.
I
would just like all the Liberty Panther faithful out there to remember, though, I did go on the record and say I believe in the black and gold, Jerry. I believe in those Liberty Panthers and that game in Tarkington.
All you Liberty fans, you know what I bring to the game with you guys, so don't.
I believe in it. And I usually don't. So there we go. There's the bright side. Anyway, I do think they're going 3-7. I think they're going to win at New Waverly. I think they're going to beat Cold Spring. And I think they're probably going to upset Orangefield. No, I'm kidding. But I think they're going to beat Kirbyville. I think Kirbyville's lost some things from what I've heard. There's some issues with Kirbyville.
So, Russell, let's look at that real quick. So, well, that would still put them 2-4. So that wouldn't get them in. But yeah, look at this.
I'm sorry, I had Trinity. They may go 4-6. Actually.
Yeah, but I think they beat Cold Spring. I think they beat Kirbyville. If they can find out a way to win at Buna, that puts them at 3-3 in district.
That Buna team was a talented bunch of kids last year.
They've got Buna returns more than any team in that district.
And they were kind of comparing Buna to Hardin 2 years to get right. That was what they were expected to be, getting a little ahead of themselves. So I think that Buna team, I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think there's going to be some winning and some smiling faces on the Prairie in 2026.
Yep.
Now, how about we talk about those Hull-Daisetta Bobcats, Jerry?
All right.
What do you got, Jerry?
So, I think they beat a team from Louisiana. I think they get a win against Louise. Snook can go either way. That'll go either way. Warren, you're stepping up. West Hardin. Man, that's a backyard brawl, kind of like West Hardin that. Sabine Pass, I think, is a game you can win. Comasnell, I think that's possibly a game you can win. I'm going to give the Bobcats, I'm going to say Hull-Daisetta finishes 3-7 this year.
Yeah, I got to go 4-6. I think they're going to beat Snook. I think they're going to be 3-0 to start the season. Absolutely, actually. And then I think
that would be awesome.
And then I think they're going to finish up the season with a win at Sabine Pass.
Okay.
And I think that's what they have. Now I would love to see them upset somebody. I'd love to see them go 5-5. But I think you're going to see an improvement on the Bobcat side this time.
Oh yeah.
So that should be a big one.
Coach
for the
Thibodeau,
Bobcats.
brother, we're rooting up for you. Go Bobcats.
We're going to move on over to the Dayton Broncos right now. So Dayton Broncos, Jerry, 6-4 a year ago. Was a better season than the year before, where everybody in the 7-7-5-3-5 zip code played quarterback.
5 or 6 different quarterbacks.
I think
Goodness.
it was 6-7, Jerry. Ooh. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway.
Russell, you just goodness. I see kids all over the world now doing that.
That's right. It's just never not going to be cool, right, kids? I don't know. Probably not cool now, but hey, that's all right.
Please don't provoke him.
6-7, baby. I think we should create like new defense for 6-7. I don't know how that would work exactly, but we'll figure it out. Anyway.
Russell, you can only have 11 on the field.
I said I don't know how it would work exactly. Okay, we'll figure it out, right?
There's not anything to figure
just
out.
Call it the 6-7.
They're not going to start allowing 13 players on offense and 13 on defense.
What was Buddy Ryan's was what was his offense? The 40. What was it?
Man,
I mean, so it didn't have to be like that many players on the field, right? It just
Buddy Ryan obviously never went to any anger management classes, did he?
I liked Buddy Ryan. He was a pleasant fella.
You either liked him or you didn't like him. So
it's a pleasant chap.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Dayton Broncos, Jerry.
Man, you just hope they get out of those first 4 games unscathed.
Here's what I'm going to say about the Dayton Broncos. I think the Dayton Broncos are going to have a great year, but they're not going 6-4 this year.
I think Dayton starts off. I think they finish 500.
Now they may win 6 games before the season's over, but they're not doing it during the regular season.
And I think going into October 16th, Dayton is 5-2 and 3-0 in district when Port Neches Groves comes to town.
5-2.
And Dayton
I think
will be heading to the playoffs this year.
I think they're 4-3. They're 4-3 heading into Port Neches Groves. I think they're going to beat Crosby. I think Angleton's and Wash. Now look, don't get me wrong. Please beat Barbers Hill.
Oh yeah, please.
But I don't think they're going to. Barbers Hill's got a lot of weapons. Now I'm not saying Dayton can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Fort Bend Marshall, I believe is a wash.
They always have athletes.
Yep.
Always.
Baytown Lee. I think they beat Baytown Lee. I think they beat Galena Park. I think they're going to chop down those Santa Fe Indians. And Port Neches Groves, you know what? And by then, after you've gone through that murderer's row, if you stay healthy and you pick up the wins afterwards, I'm not saying it's not unlikely they couldn't.
Okay, so what do you think Dayton finishes in district?
Let's see. 4-2? 4-2.
I'm pretty close with you. I think there's a possibility of 5-1 also.
Yeah, I mean, if you can beat Texas City, right? I mean, and that depends. Texas City surprises you sometimes. They're solid, or sometimes they should be a solid
City's
team.
Another program that always has athletes.
Absolutely, and
Nederland, it's going to be much improved this year. And that wasn't a bad Nederland team last year. They just couldn't stop anyone on defense.
Now look, you add some elements to Dayton, and you have a healthy Jerry Pritto Jr. all year long, and his receivers do their job, that line does their job, and then you add in that running game. If you can stop somebody, and that was Dayton's problem last. Let's be honest with ourselves, Jerry. Last year, they couldn't stop anybody.
Yeah.
Now, if you can stop somebody, they got to show me a lot more than they showed me a year ago, right? Mm-hmm. And I think there's been some changes, and there's been some work and some focus on that, right? But
defense is going to have to play better.
They're going to the playoffs, though.
Yep.
They're 100%
agreed.
Going to the playoffs.
Agreed.
And that's a start, right? And I do think you can get some momentum. And if you can knock off Port Neches Groves, sky's the limit, right? Let's be honest with ourselves. And what an environment to try to do it. You will not have a bigger crowd all year than you will at Bronco Stadium on that night.
That place will be rocking.
And so, like I said, there's going to be a lot of purple. We're going to probably wear red so you can see us.
So think about this. On back-to-back weeks, we're going to have Newton coming here.
That's right.
And then the following Friday, we're going to have Port Neches going to Dayton.
That's right.
Ooh.
And they're two huge games, right?
Man,
They're
those
huge
are
games.
two. Man, we got a good schedule this year.
We do.
We
There's
do.
a solid
Good
schedule this season.
Yep.
And we'll see all y'all throughout the season, and we're looking forward to it. I know that. Jerry, let's jump over to Liberty Panthers. We're in Hardin, so I'm going to hold it.
I guess the next time I try to reach Kedrick Harrison, Liberty head football coach, I'll get you, because Kedrick's probably not going to take my calls or answer my text anymore, since you kind of sliced me and diced me there.
Hi. Don't worry, kid. I'll give you a call.
Dad, don't answer the phone when he calls.
Anyway, the Liberty Panthers, Jerry, they're going 2-0 to start the season, buddy.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
In fact, they're going 3-1 to start the season, Jerry.
I very well could see it. And I'm telling you, as I alluded to earlier when we were talking about Liberty, I told you Huffman is going to be down. Okay? I don't know if they don't start 1-0 in district.
Well, if they start 1-0 in district by your measure, then they're starting 2-0 in district.
Yep.
By my measure.
Wait. No, Tarkington's, they're not in the same.
No. By my measure, if you're
Livingston.
Livingston.
Okay.
They're going to beat the Lions.
Okay. Where is that? Where are they playing? Are they going to play that game on 59 somewhere?
I think they found a field with lawn chairs.
Okay.
Anyway, but that's
sorry guys, fans in Livingston and that. We're disappointed too, because
I know
I've seen that press box, how big that sucker, and that's going to be a nice stadium. I was wanting y'all to have it this year.
It looks like a big, like a portable building.
I know.
It's not a portable building. It's in the air.
It looks a little displaced,
yep.
But it's big. Will you agree with that?
It's big. It's
Okay.
big. It's supposed to be nice, they tell me, if they ever get the bleachers built. And anyway, but I think, so if we use your logic and they beat Huffman, I think then that means, Jerry, at that point, we're talking about a 5-1 Liberty Panther squad before the 7th game of the season.
Yep. And after Livingston is Little Cypress Mauriceville at home. That is a Little Cypress Mauriceville team that is going to be down some this year. They were down some last year. So just putting that into perspective.
Well, stop for me. If they get to 5-1, that's good, but that's as far as they're getting.
Bridge City's going to be tough. Bridge City won the district last year. I think they went 3 rounds deep. Bridge City's going to be good again. Lumberton returns their starting. Lumberton, I think, gets in. And Vidor is going to be improved this year also.
I think you're talking 4-6, 5-5. That's what you're talking about for Liberty Panthers. I think you'll see an improvement over a year ago.
Keep them moving in the right direction.
That's right. And just, so and that's Splendor, and I might be wrong about that Splendor game, but I think look, I mean, Splendor did not impress me much.
No.
But I've seen it.
I think it's a close game again. I'll put it like that.
But got a story behind us by Deweyville in this scrimmage. They're in the controlled portion of the scrimmage right now, Jerry. So anyway, but Hardin Hornets. Speaking of the Hardin Hornets, so there's some questions about a few things. 12-1 a year ago, Jerry.
You're going to make me go first again.
Oh, I'll make you go first.
Man, you made me do that last year. I'm getting set up again. Man, I think they get a win at Corrigan Camden, and then you come here for Lutheran South.
You do. That's a great prediction, Jerry.
And you got a Hardin. Hold on, hear me out, Russell. You've got a Hardin secondary that lost some key figures. What does Lutheran South do offensively?
They throw the ball.
So I think that game is a toss-up. If Hardin can get the ground game established, keep Lutheran South off the field, they win. If Lutheran South offense is able to be on the field for any length of time, I think the Pioneers get out of here with the win. I think they beat Beaumont Kelly. Boy, East Chambers, Coach Sutherland is just, Russ has got another one of those just talented teams. And KJ Fontenot is back from Port Arthur Memorial. That's a Thursday night game in Winnie. I think that's a tough game. Crockett, I think you come here, you get a win. Newton, it doesn't matter the first time. Of course, you want to beat them the first time, but you want to beat them the second time, which I think there's a really good shot that they meet them again. I think the first time Newton comes here, they'll get the win. Hardin will beat Kuntz. They'll beat New Waverly. They go to Woodville in another game that's going to be a tough game, but the X factor is Chad Taylor. I think they get a win at Woodville, and they close it out with the win against Warren.
So what's that put you at there?
I'm basically 8-2, 7-3.
I'm not going to tell y'all it's going to be 10-0. I'm not going to lie to you right here.
I'm ready to crawl under the table after your predictions. Well, heck, I might need to have police escort me. Well, wait, they can't hear this yet, so. All right.
Well, here's the thing. Want to see what happens. Week 1, the Hornets are going to be in good shape. Corrigan, Camden. We'll know a lot. They're getting a lot of work in right now here with this scrimmage with Deweyville. Figuring a few things out. Colton Bishop is not playing here tonight, right?
Nope. Christian will be quarterbacking the Hornets.
So
Colton will, and I talked to Colton before the teams came out. Colton looks great. So Colton will be, he will be starting in August 28th.
Yeah, and they're figuring out some things tonight. Working to get some schemes ready and some just figuring out what they're doing. That Lutheran South Academy game is going to be a tough one. I pointed out earlier, Liberty County Judge Jaden Knight's grandson is going to be the quarterback for that squad, and
you think?
And I think this. I think we're going to learn a lot about who the Hardin Hornets are that night.
I agree.
I do think you're right. If Hardin keeps him off the field, Hardin's got this. But you can't keep them off the field just to turn around and let them throw the ball right down your throat, right?
That will be all about ball control right there.
We will find out how they handle that and how they handle that defense, and I figure they're gonna figure out some things, right? They got a good squad out there. Coach Taylor, Coach Anderson, they're gonna figure out some things with this defense and everything, and they'll have some things figured out before then. Beaumont Kelly, you're gonna beat. Well, again, we're gonna see what we look like on week 2, right? We'll see what we look like in week 2. If they look like they're ahead of where I think they may appear at the moment, week 4 we may have a different conversation. It is going to be a good East Chambers team though. And the Hornets with the defense, I believe that was the defense, right? Or was that defense? It just got a score. So so that could be a good sign right there, right? But that defense, we'll see what the defense is. Those 2 games, Lutheran South, East Chambers, that's going to dictate a lot, right? I think you beat Crockett, come into Newton. Here's my thing about Newton. You got to beat Newton once this year. I'm not saying don't try to beat Newton that night, right? It's going to be a tight one. You got to play the best game you can and see where you stand. And I think from that point, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at with Hardin right there. Then you've got some time to work through some things, right? It's about the playoffs for Hardin. Getting to the playoffs, that's what this is about. I think you're looking at 8-2 or 9-1 team.
Okay.
With the potential to be 7-3, depending on what happens in week 2, right?
Okay.
I think that's where we are, right? But I do think the potential to be 9-1 is actually there.
Okay.
And my thing is this: I'm going to go ahead when we get done here and I'm going to get on Truelocity. What do you call it? The travel website, the Travelocity. Travelocity, is that what a Trulicity? I think
or hotels.com.
Hotels.com.
There you go. That's a shout out for hotels.com.
And I'm going to get on here and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see what's going on in December, what rooms are available in Arlington, because I believe if this team figures out where they have to make adjustments. I'm not worried about Newton that one game. I'm not worried about then. I'm worried about Newton weeks from now. Right? And I do think this team gets these things together, right? It does not need to be a 12-1 team again.
No.
It'd be all right if you have a couple of losses. Let's add 6 wins. Let's add 6 wins after the Warren game, right? That's what it's about. That's the season that matters. I think this team has a chance to make that happen. This line is too dang good not to.
This line is going to just dominate people this year.
This fan base, if you're a good fan base, you're going to live with the fact you may have a blemish or two in the regular season.
Yeah.
And you're going to be there, and you're going to support the Hornets because it's about that last half of this regular season and the momentum that they're going to build as they've gotten things figured out between the first game
if
and
October 9th does not go your way against Newton, the season is not over. Folks, the season is just beginning.
That's right. And so the bottom line is this. They're making the playoffs, folks.
Oh, yeah.
They need one of those top 2 spots, if at all possible, right? Because that puts you on the other side of the bracket from Newton, and then you two just head on back towards each other.
And I think they do get one of the top 2 spots in this district.
And so, Jerry, I say this. We at least got a second date with Newton coming for the Hornets. So we're at least playing into December.
Where would we play that one? Where would we play that one at?
Well, I think there's no better place in between the two of them than Bobcat Stadium. I don't know. Maybe Lamar, right? PNG.
Possibly Lamar.
PNG,
yeah,
Lamar
would be a good venue.
You play
or maybe Beaumont.
Well, Beaumont. So that's right. You do have a good stadium there, right?
Yep.
But so we're talking.
Because you'll need some. You're going to have a good. Because we saw what these Hardin Hornets brought to the Berry. I mean, they filled the Berry up.
So I'd say somewhere about December 3rd, December 4th. Those two are playing a second game, and I do believe that. And again, for me, it's this. Hardin, get out there on the field, keep your heads up, do your thing, make the adjustments necessary, and we're talking football in December.
Yep.
And if you can get past that game that first week of December, we are talking about going to Dallas. Or
well, and we both know there's not many better in the business that making adjustments than that man standing on that sideline.
And they'll figure out the adjustments they need with these kids, and they're going to figure out how to make tackles. These kids make tackles.
Yeah.
They do. And that's the thing.
They wrap up and they will hit you.
So, Jerry, I do believe they're playing in the month of December for sure. You get through that second time with Newton, because it will be Newton, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I have no ifs, ands, and buts about that.
State champions coming out of this district. And that could be hard.
Yeah, that's very well a possibility.
And that's the thing. My biggest deal is this. This isn't a prediction as much as a call to action. So what if they have to punt the football? So what if they end up with a loss or 2? They're making the postseason. And by that point in time, if you keep working, you keep grinding, that's what it's all about. And I bring back Yoakum to you, folks. That's the example. That's the shining example. Go get it. Go do that damn thing. That's what the Hardin Hornets have to do this year. So that's my prediction.
Okay.
Anyway, Jerry, it's going to be a great season.
Yep.
August the 28th, it all gets underway. We'll be at Broncos Stadium to start it off. It will be at Memorial Stadium to finish it off. Nothing better than the Broncos and the Panthers to get it going. September 4th, we'll be right back here in Hardin Hornet Stadium. And then we're going back to Dayton next week, and Dayton and Barbers Hill. That's a pretty big one. So
yes, it is.
Anyway, Jerry, so if anybody's upset, disappointed, you can direct your comments to Jerry Mahalski at...
I knew that was coming. And if you've been watching us long enough, you knew that was coming too.
Anyway, that's our 2026 Liberty County, Texas high school football preview show for the Vindicator. Subscribe today at 936-336-3611. That's 936-336-3611. Or visit thevindicator.com, because this is your only source for sports in Liberty County, the Vindicator. He's Jerry Mahalski. I'm Russell Payne, and we will see you this season under the lights.